Hey, hi, I'm on a Chit Chat. You guys see my mess behind me? It's because I'm sitting here at the table. I have this camera here at the table. So, I'm sure y'all wonder what I'm doing all out here. I'm reading the Bible. I have some books. I have the Bible. This is the trailer Bible. I have another Bible at home. I have another Bible in the car. I also I'm reading this. I don't know if you guys are seeing it it's Alchemy and Mysticism. I like to read different stuff. But I enjoy dipping into the Bible sometimes, and today I was reading about from 1 Chronicles, right? and I did it in lottery fashion. Just spin through the book, and whatever I land on, that's what the reading is for today. So it ended up in Chronicles. And I ended up on David's instruction for the temple. So when I was reading through this, though, I was like, who wrote this? Who wrote the Chronicles? And I guess supposedly they say that it's anonymous, right? And, they like to say that Ezra is the one that wrote this, right? And if that's what they think, why isn't his name there? You know what I mean? It's like, if you think something. But, this is what? King James Version, right? And if he's the one that chose these, what books go in this Bible, I mean, it kind of makes you think about, how did they choose this? How did they choose the books? You know what I mean? How did they choose these? They like the stories and that's what they put in there? Or they were with, because, I'm really not, I have a lot of Bibles, but I'm not a Bible person. I don't live my life according to the Bible. I live my life according to what's right and what's wrong. You know what I mean? I believe in God. All right. I believe that God created all this. Even the aliens or whoever is out there, even all the other planets. Something had to create all of this. I also believe that God had a wife, though, right? And I think differently of, the God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. For me, in my mind, because I think differently, it's mother, father, child, that has the Holy Spirit, right? Because if you're talking about Father, child, and the Holy Spirit, if the Holy Spirit's already in the Father and the child, why do you need the Holy Spirit then again? So it's like, that's one of the main things why I don't, the Bible's like weird to me. I've also found it to be really sexist. Yeah. We all know the Mary Magdalene story and how her name was just dragged through the mud, until they realized, oh, she's the 13th apostle, the apostle of the obviously, So, I was just reading some stuff around here, and I was just wondering about this stuff. I still like to read from the Bible. Their stories are nice, and it's good to keep your mind going. It's good to read. I always say to people, read, it's educate yourself, read, even if it's just simple stuff. It's good to keep the mind flowing. It's good to remember things, and your vocabulary and all that. Reading is really super important. It doesn't even matter what it is. I just happen to have these 2 books right here, so But yeah, I have recently also gotten the Ethiopian Bible, and I have the 2 Keys of Solomon's also that I ordered. I haven't really dipped into. Well, I have a little bit. I have read some of the stuff in those books just out of curiosity. I kind of like to finish a book and then go to the next. The Bible, on the other hand, this is something that I'm just in and out of because I compare. I like to compare. Okay, this Bible says something. what does this Bible say? And then what does this Bible say? Because they're all Christianity Bibles that I have, right? But they're all different denominations, right? And they're all against each other. I mean, everybody wants to be better than everybody else, and nobody can agree on one thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of disappointing when it comes to religion, but I mean, that's just how it is, you know. I don't want to make this too long, but that's what we're doing today. And I was just having a little thought about Chronicles, because it's anonymous, but it made it into the Bible. You know, this could have been anybody who wrote this, and this person just agreed. This doesn't even have to be a holy person. It could have just been any old person, just like all of these books could have been written by any old person, because I don't think any of these people were alive when they made this decision on who's who and who. Like, where is, you know. But it's a nice book. The Bible is a nice book. The Ethiopian Bible has the Old Testament and the New Testament, and that's what I appreciate. If you're going to get a Bible, they should have the Old and the New Testament in there. And another thing that I mentioned before, this is just a gibberish video, I guess, because I'm really not making a point to anything, but I'm thinking, like, I mentioned it before, you know, if AI is so good at translating all these ancient things, why don't they grab the most ancient text of the Bible that they can, which is not in English, and have them translate that? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Because I don't see anywhere that anyone is translating the original Bibles or anything. Because I guarantee this book has been written and gone over so many times. It's so mixed up. You don't even know if the meanings of the words that they're saying in this book are correct, because some meanings mean something else in other languages. And that's what people just don't seem to want to, you know, get a grasp on. And that's why I don't follow just one. I basically follow the common sense practices. You know what I mean? About, you know, basically like the stuff that Jesus said. You know, I think Jesus was a cool guy, you know, if you want to say it like that. But I think that, you know, what he was teaching was, you know, on point. And it's a shame that people are trying to hide or not talk about the truth, right? Because Jesus was the truth, right? I believe that he was born. I don't believe in Immaculate Conception, though. I don't believe in that at all. But I do believe that he was born, and he went off traveling, and he learned things on his own and came back and spread the word and all that stuff. I believe that. I believe that he studied somewhere else, because you're never going to find the life of Jesus in here. You're not. You're going to find some information about him going to other countries to study or whatever, spirituality, right? And then he comes back and helps everybody, you know. But yeah, you know, this is never gonna be the truth, right? The truth is, you know, how you feel. You know, if you're a hateful person or an angry person, you're not gonna go far in life. You know what I mean? If you try to hurt others or deceive others, you're not going to get, you know, you're not going to be in that lifestyle forever. Eventually, you know, karma will hit, you know, and karma is, it's cause and effect. It's how you treat people. You're going to get treated like that in the end. You know, a lot of people have been very mean to me, whatever, but I don't care. I'm not going to treat them the way they treat me, because it could come back to me one day. You know what I'm saying? Cause and effect. You know, and plus, when people act crazy and mean like that, there's something wrong. There's something wrong if they can't communicate clearly or keep their composure, if they get all bent out of shape or retaliate and all. That's when you got something wrong upstairs, you know. And, you know, people like that are everywhere. I mean, take a look around right now. You know, we got people that have got some, you know, people might think that I'm like that, but I like to get in touch with nature. I like to be close to God. I like to be close to Jesus. I like to go out I hate to be trapped up in the house. It doesn't make me feel good in there. We've been out now almost 2 weeks. I'm thinking about going back maybe next week or something. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, I mean, this is what I enjoy. I like getting closer in touch with nature because it makes me feel like I'm closer in touch with God. And I try to walk in the footsteps of Jesus, you know, being kind to everybody, even if they're people that don't agree with me or I don't agree with them. I still try to keep it cordial and nice, you know, because getting all bent out of shape, it's just not, it's not conducive to whatever we got going on in our lives, right? Right. Anyways, I guess it was just a random chit chat. You guys see my little mess back there? A couple things I had to get. I got some peanut butter. I got the crunchy on accident. Oh well, that's okay. It tastes good in the oatmeal in the morning, you know. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Look, I already made it almost to 11 minutes. I'm Mona. This is Chit Chat, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.